Hello and welcome to another video of mine. Today I'm going to be travelling on board the Gawler line in South Australia's Adelaide metro region from Adelaide to Gawler return. This is the first day of operation for passengers. It has been shut for over 18 months, so I think without any further ado, let's get into the video. The Adelaide metro trains are a city of 4,000 of multiple class unit trains built by Bombardier Transportation. These trains were delivered in July 2013 to Adelaide and entered service in February. This is a map of the Gawler line in red. These are the stations. Some of the main stations here are Adelaide, Mawson Lakes, Salisbury, Smithfield and Gawler Central. Now on board this train, we are on board and these blue seats are the normal seats. There are also red seats, which I'll go through later. The legroom here is pretty good. With my bag there, it is a bit hard to stretch your legs out. You have to stretch your legs out diagonally. The seat on board this train is pretty firm but hard. It is still squishy, as you can see, but it is good enough for an hour's ride down to Gawler.
The next stop is Dry Creek.
Now that we have left the Adelaide railway station, in Adelaide railway station there is 9 platforms. 1, 2 and 3 are mainly used for Flinders and Seaford, and platform 4 and 5 is mainly used for Belair trains, which is out to the hills in South Australia, and platform 6, 7, 8, 9 is used for Gawler, Grange and Outer Harbour train lines. So now as we leave, we are just leaving the Adelaide region. Down there is the line to Outer Harbour. I'll do a video on that maybe next time I go to the city. The Outer Harbour line goes to the harbour where sometimes the ships leave here in South Australia. This train today is expressing through a couple of stops and expressing straight through to Dry Creek. You can go back earlier in the video to see where Dry Creek is and which stops they're passing. But the first stop we're going to be passing is North Adelaide, which is located in the inner northern suburbs of Adelaide. It's 2.5 kilometres or 1.6 miles from the Adelaide railway station. North Adelaide station opened in 1857 with a station building including ladies' waiting rooms and ticket office. Islington is the stop we are now passing. It is a unique name. It is located again in the northern suburbs. It is located in the suburbs of Prospect, adjacent to Regency Road. To the west of the station, the opposite side to my window, was a narrow gauge line. Now we are coming into our first station we are stopping at, which is Dry Creek, which is 10.6 kilometres from Adelaide. It first opened in 1856. The station was rebuilt and a bogie in-change Crystal Brook line was converted to standard narrow gauge broad line. If you don't know what the word bogie means, it will be down below. I wanted to add it because I wasn't sure what it meant, and I thought it'd be better to add it so then at least you know what I'm talking about.
next stop is Mawson Interchange.
The next station we are coming up to is Mawson Lakes. Now, I got no facts for this one because I didn't want to blurt out facts at every station I filmed. So, yeah, Mawson Lakes is a bus interchange. If there's no buses going to the place you want to go, you can travel to Mawson Lakes. It is probably quicker going by train from the city other than driving. It is quite far north. Not as far as Gawler north, but quite far north. The station we are about to arrive at has a unique name. It is called a chitta. Chitta is derived from the native word little bird. We are arriving into Chitta, so I will stop talking and let you enjoy the approach into Chitta, and then more facts will come after. Oh, it stops me right in front of the name. That's cool. Chitta, back quite a while ago, had step-down platforms of a length of 122 metres. They were then replaced to the current day platforms, which is still a length of 122 in 1974. It is still good to see that in South Australia they still have the QR codes on public transport, so I know COVID safe check-in doesn't really matter anymore in South Australia, but it's still good to have them anyway. But yeah, a pretty relaxing train ride. They do clean these trains after every ride once we arrive into Adelaide. There are posters on the train about how to help stop the spread by sanitising and washing hands thoroughly. Salisbury is an adjoining its large parks and ride car parks, making it the largest station in Adelaide's rail network. The station line Salisbury opened in June 1857. It was running as far north for Smithfield. Food and water are not permitted to be drunken or to be eaten while on board Adelaide Metro public transport. Elizabeth South is located as far north of the border, located in the suburbs of Elizabeth South and Edinburgh. It has a ticket office identical to the one at Woodlands Park, which was built in 1955 when it opened. It was then replaced in the 1970s and early 1980s. There is a bus interchange at Elizabeth Station, with bus numbers being 442, 440, 441, 443 and 472, going to Smithfield, Monopara Loop and Monopara Station.
The next stop is Elizabeth.
These seats here that I'm now sitting on are priority seats. These are for anyone who is pregnant or has prams or children or wheelchairs and need extra room. The pros about these things are there is a lot more leg room, but as I said, they're for people who are pregnant or have prams. So yeah, if someone comes in with a pram, you can't be sitting in them. You should be politeful enough to move. Yeah, because there's no one sitting on them, I am currently using them to my advantage. The only con there probably is with these, even if you're with a pram or pregnant, is that you're sitting sideways, so I guess you'd have to face the way the train is going. And yeah, the following rules are here. No smoking, surveillance cameras are in use, no drinking or eating, no alcohol, doors are closed, and yeah, stuff like that. So it's all the main stuff that you're not allowed to do on these trains. But yeah, a really smooth ride so far as we come up to the station Broadmeadows, which I don't even think is in the area of Broadmeadows. I think the station's called this, but the area of Broadmeadows isn't around here.
No, that's not right. Where's the back of the truck?
Coming up very, very shortly on this side of the train is Smithfield. Smithfield is another bus interchange here on the Gawler line. There's about 4 of them. This station opened once again in June of 1857. The station had a ticket office, which was the same design as the one we saw earlier at North Adelaide. There was a short branch line running to the west of Smithfield Munyon's short storage. The short storage was used during the early years of World War II. Enjoy the approach and welcome to Smithfield, here in South Australia.
This will be for the farm. Now we're going to change to citizen.
The last stop on our journey today is the Gawler railway station, which is situated on the Australian town of Gawler. It's 3.98 kilometres or 24.7 miles from Adelaide railway station. Gawler station opened in 1857 as the terminus of the Gawler line. It was built by an owned local parliamentary members of the period. The original platform building was replaced in 1879. This was used by horse-drawn tram services down the main street of Gawler, Murray Street, almost a kilometre away from the current railway station.
I know, because I kind of want to stretch my legs.
So let's get off now.
Get off at Gawler and then we can go to Gawler Central.
Okay. It's your day. I don't know.
Yeah, do that. Get off at Gawler. Get off at this stop.
That's the horse way. The horses, yeah, the race. You've seen that on TV. That's a bad train.
Let's get ready.
Hey, morning, Freddie. Because Sunday night.
So just quickly, what they're doing here on this side of the train is they're letting people on by the ramp, because if there's someone with a wheelchair or a pram that can't get on because of the gap, then the driver will let them on with the ramp.
Attention Gawler passengers. On Sunday, the 12th.
We have just arrived at Gawler. You can go to Gawler Central, but there is a bit more happening at Gawler. Gawler Central's a bit more like nothing. So as I said earlier in the video, you can't eat or drink on the train, and there's really no room to stretch your legs with how busy it is today, because it's the first inaugural run. This is not the first inaugural run, this is not the first one, but it's the first couple. To and from Gawler. So yeah, we've got up just to stretch our legs, and then we're heading back to the city soon.
Yeah, pull the engines out. Yeah, it's over about 4 or 5 tons. Yeah. I mean, pretty away from
One good thing that they never used to have on these trains are charging points, so you can connect your plug if it's iPad, phone, whatever you want to connect. So a couple of stations in, the train was very full. Sitting in priority seats, we had to move a couple of times because they could hear the train. So these machines here are to either recharge or buy a metro ticket. So yeah, you would get given a metro ticket if you didn't have a metro card. There's orange and blue metro cards, and the tickets are just white with writing on them. Plenty of legroom here in these priority seats, even though a couple of minutes after this we have to stand. So here you go, just a quick example of the cost and what they look like. Now what I'm showing you is a photo. Before it was a video, I just screenshotted it and added it. So there you go, the prices for, if you're a senior holder, so I think it's maybe 60, 55 plus.
I would have liked to see them that was
Oh, yes. Yes. Adelaide's such a little city compared. Up in Sydney with their electric trains. And getting on, everybody just goes, whoosh. And we kind of think, well, people are stand, but actually you get on. And I went up to Sydney and everyone went whoosh, and I was thinking, and then the train went on.
So a lot of these areas, especially around between Adelaide and Mawson Lakes, a lot of them are industrial. We're heading between Kilburn and North Adelaide currently. This is just freight. There is a lot of this around. A lot of freight trains do leave from around here. There is also the Adelaide Parklands Terminal, which is the opposite direction to this, the direction we're travelling in. But yeah, there are plenty of tracks around here. Quite industrial and quite nothing around here as well, as we come in towards the Adelaide City and the Adelaide Railway Station.
Yeah, there's a lot of it up.
Settle down. But I guess, with the housing, I've seen over the last few years a lot of interest in this and trash the house. Really degraded the property to the point where the landlord but I guess that's why there's more and more empty houses just sitting there. Yeah, and all the new ways of better than nuclear. That's for damn sure. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, someone was talking about possibly building the oldest joke I remember hearing from my dad when I was a boy.
Alright, didn't get too much of a film of it, the engine anyway. Coming up here is the Gawler. I did not expect it, just came out of nowhere. The Gawler usually travels up to the NT, so usually Alice Springs or Darwin. There's also the Overland. I'm pretty sure the Overland does the trains from Melbourne. So down that way where it's coming from, that is the Parklands terminal that I was talking about. That is where the GAN, the Overland, the Indian Pacific leave from. That is their main terminal. That is it for this video. Overall, it was a great experience. If I had to be really picky, there was no rubbish on the train. It wasn't really very dirty. But yeah, quite busy. Not surprised it was the first day in operation for passengers. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to put as much time and effort in as I could. So if you could watch the whole thing and get your friends to watch it, I definitely recommend you to come down to Adelaide and try this. The Gawler line from Adelaide to Gawler. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.